All right. And again, good morning. Okay, just getting set up. I have to go to the doctor at 9:30. Definitely has to check my blood pressure after this bullshit. My God. What I don't even want to get my blood pressure up. But I called it, I knew it, and I predicted it, and it's happening. What's up, Skywalker? Oh, really? Good for you. Tell him not to cave in and capitulate to Iran. He did a wonderful job with Iran. Wonderful. He gets a fucking F. Fail. Has me. I don't want to get my blood pressure up. It's too early. What's up, Tammy? And I said it, and I predicted, and people saying, oh, no, no, no. Well, everything I forecasted and said happened. Not that I'm saying I'm right, because I'm damn wrong a lot of the times, too. But on this subject, a lot of the times, 95%, I've been right. The times I was wrong is thinking that he was actually going to do something about it. Those were the times when I was wrong. Pathetic. But people will say, well, what you going to do? Well, he capitulated. The international waterway that we once knew the Strait of Hormuz to be is no longer. That's bye-bye. 006, what's happening? It's bye-bye. It is now under control of Iran and Oman. And the announcement should be made today. And it's funny how he says, Oman better get it open. Wait, who? Iran or Oman? Wait, what? Wait, what? Who? Eugene, it's going to probably be announced today. And I'm hearing about a 60-day ceasefire. Oh, wait a minute. Did I not say? Wait, where does 60 days get us to? October 5th? Right before the midterms? Oh, he did say that. Oh, he did say that, Eugene. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The pressure's now on Oman. It's crazy. I don't even want to look at Telegram because they're celebrating probably in fucking Iran. Now, nothing's been formally announced. But you can expect an announcement today. Oh, yeah. But did I tell you that Oman and Iran have been making arrangements to control the Strait? He's capitulated. He's going to allow that to happen. Just to get the Strait open. Iran still dictates who goes through, what goes through, all that. He capitulated. I know they never last. But he wants it to last. It's not their side that wants it to last. It's our side that wants it to last, the ceasefire. They're the ones that always keep breaking the ceasefire, and then we react to it. It's not the other way around. They're the ones that break the ceasefire and launch at ships, and then we say, oh, we're going to do a love tap. We're going to react in a defensive way, but the ceasefire is still there. It still exists. I don't want to get my blood pressure up. It's too early. It's too early. I even have to say, is it really truth, social? Is it really truth? Really? After all the nonsense we've been hearing for the last 4 months since the ceasefire was put in place? Let me see what they're saying on. I don't even want to see Telegram. I really don't. I really don't. I know I'm going to be disgusted this morning before I go to the doctor. My blood pressure is going to be out of control before I go see the doctor. I know it. What's wrong with you? Don't ask. And his main concern is, it is a serious concern, is about keeping the oil prices down and the economy in check, because that would be really bad for the Republicans for the midterm. This is the strategy behind it. I told you. I've been saying it. Trump to angry Americans, and there's a clip of this, about rising fuel prices. Our economic situation is not bad. If we reach an agreement with the Islamic Republic of Iran, the price of gasoline will drop to around $2.50 per gallon. An agreement with Iran? Or going along with the Strait being opened by Iran and Oman? Is that an agreement? Are you in any position with this agreement? Or are you going along with it just to get it open? Spin, spin, spin time. Round and round we go. The merry-go-round begins. You want to hear it? Let's hear it.
Where the Strait is opened up, they'll never have a nuclear weapon. The Strait is opened up, they'll never have a nuclear weapon. But if the Strait opens up, and it's partially opened anyway, and as you know, we control the Strait totally through the blockade. But if
we control the Strait totally through the blockade. That's why you're depending on Oman and Iran to make this agreement to open the Strait. Does that make any sense to you? Tell me if that makes any logical sense in your minds, being objective, that makes any sense. Tell me. Not as a Trump supporter, not as a Democrat, progressive, whatever. Simply objectively for what he just said. It does make no sense. It's spin. Should we continue?
Have no friction, then oil will go down to, I think it'll go down to $2.50 a gallon, $2.50.
Now, before it goes down to $2.50, it's going to take months for the oil supply, the oil traffic to resume almost back to normal, which is like 100 and 120 ships per day. That's going to take time. Now, yeah, it can come down quite a bit, but to 250, where these oil companies are making a fortune. Did you see how much Chevron and ExxonMobil are making profits off of this? You think they're just going to reduce it down to 250 overnight? That's going to take time. Just remember that. It's going to take time. Even if this doesn't go shit sideways, if Iran doesn't like what's going on and decides to fire at a ship days from now, weeks from now.
You know, it was down to 185 before I had to make this little journey to the Islamic Republic of
Yeah, it was maybe 185 in Louisiana, Florida, somewhere down there. It was never 185 here, ever.
Iran. I had to make it. We had the best numbers that anybody's ever seen. But now you take a look with that going on. You just hit to get today. I think it's number 79 days. We hit an all-time stock market high.
And that's what this is about, market manipulation.
Yep. 401ks are the highest they've ever been by double and triple.
Yep.
And then I read where we're doing badly on the economy. By the way, job numbers. We have more people working in the United States today than ever.
But the job numbers growth was slow. I mean, we can spin this any way.
In history, we're doing an unbelievable job with the Strait.
Really? An unbelievable job, huh? A lot of people would disagree with that. Maybe not red people, but purple people. Definitely the Democrats. Forget about them. Really? Really? Spin time. This is what you're going to hear. For at least, well, it depends if this finally goes through. Let's see. I'm trying to find articles on it. It'd be nice if we hear actual clips like that from the mouth. Not mainstream media or other people opinionated bullshit, but coming from himself. What? What the hell is this? It's coming from Israel. Israel News. I didn't hear about this. Did you guys hear about this? Another assassination attempt against President Trump thwarted? Did you guys hear about this? An armed suspect was arrested after allegedly monitoring security ahead of President Trump's visit to California. I tell you, people are just whack jobs. I tell you. Whack. That's the first I've seen this. That's what the Israeli news is reporting. I don't know if that's true. You know, a lot of them are being mum. Even on Telegram, I'm checking Telegram first. They're being very mum about what's happening today with the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, they're spreading it. The Israeli media is spreading that thing about a thwarted assassination attempt. That's the first I've heard of it. It must have developed overnight. Okay. The U.S. is close to an agreement regarding the Strait of Hormuz and intends to announce it on Wednesday. This is, remember, unconfirmed. This is just what they're stating. Axios. According to two regional sources and a U.S. official, the United States, Iran, and Oman are close to reaching a temporary agreement to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and the U.S. intends to announce the agreement on Wednesday. The goal of this agreement, which has been under negotiation for several weeks, is to resume the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran and restart negotiations for a nuclear agreement. President Trump decided on Saturday not to implement his threats to launch a large-scale bombing campaign in order to provide more opportunity for diplomacy. However, if an agreement is not reached soon, Trump may approve major attacks. The agreement will fulfill some of Iran's demands for greater control over traffic in the Strait of Hormuz, control that Iran did not have before the war. According to two regional sources, the agreement under discussion would create a temporary 60-day ceasefire. How convenient, right to October, to the midterms. Mechanism between Oman and Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, which can be extended, so they can extend the ceasefire. All ships entering the Persian Gulf of the Strait will go through the northern route in Iranian waters. All ships leaving the Strait and heading to the Arabian Sea will pass through the southern route in Omani waters, coordinated with Iran. Iran has complete control of the fucking Strait. They dictate who goes through. No fees. This is fucking insane. According to regional sources, in addition to negotiations between Oman and Iran, officials from Qatar, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia also participated in the mediation efforts. Of course they did. Regional sources said that the White House was actively involved in the negotiations. In recent days, several calls have taken place between Steve Witkoff, Hossein Amir Abdullahian, Iran's Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Oman's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Two regional sources said that Amir, whatever his name is, agreed in principle to the agreement at the end of last week, but still needed the approval of the Ayatollah Mouse, the leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and the National Security Council. A U.S. official and regional source said that Iran's leadership completed the approval process for the agreement yesterday. So it looks like it got the Mouse's approval, the Supreme Council's approval. Did it get the IGC's approval? If the Supreme Leader, allegedly the cardboard one, gave it the approval, the IRGC can't do anything because they follow him. So, guess who won the battle of Strait of Hormuz? Not us. We lost the Strait. They got control with Oman. This is the capitulation that the United States has agreed to. I told you. Did I tell you? I told you. And he's going to say, yeah, it's open. But due to my pressure of bombing them beyond Stone Age and World War II, they capitulated. They caved. They opened the strait. What's the catch? Who controls it? Iran does. Can we finish that line? You gave Iran control of the Strait of Hormuz. Before this bullshit started, it was international waterway. There were no disputes. Everything was flowing nicely. So you're going to get it back to the way it was, where prices were. But the caveat is Iran controls the strait now. And they're going to spin it like it's a victory, like they won. 60-day ceasefire. We've been down that trail before. Only for Iran to delay, and then stir shit up again. Oh my God. I am like, the only reason the strait is in Iran's control is because you did not do the right thing to take control of it from the get-go. You blew this. Not the military, the suits blew it. To allow Iran to, one, have the leverage of the strait, and now, two, control it. There's no way to sugarcoat this. It's a capitulation. The United States has caved in over the Strait of Hormuz. That's it. That's it. There's no other way to spin this. There's no way to defend it. There's no way you could, you could spin it all you want. That's not going to change the facts. My blood pressure's going up, dude. There's no way Iran gets to control that fucking strait. But they are. Now, again, you might say, well, that's for now. Things could change. Well, if it changes, Iran's just not going to give it up. We got to go to war again with them. We're going to have to force them. And you can't say economic fury now, because now the money fucking flow is going to start, and Iran's going to have that money from oil. They're going to beg for sanctions to be lifted and frozen assets while they're negotiating during this 60-day ceasefire about the nuclear. It's a pay as you go plan. If they agree to this, they get money. They get this. They get that. It's pay as you go. When they do something that they like that they're doing, you did this, you reach this little increment, you get money. Oh, you want your frozen assets? We'll release a little bit of here. Here's a little teaser for you. But you got to get to the next step of agreements, and then we'll give you more. They're bribing them. They're paying them off. Is this how you deal with terrorists? I don't know about this. And they're in this fantasy land again that they can actually negotiate with Iran. But then again, if this is going to get resolved, I don't think it simply could be bombs away. Stone Age. I mean, if you were thinking about diplomacy, you should have thought about diplomacy first instead of going into war and then go to diplomacy. You should have thought about diplomacy first before you spent billions of dollars, bases destroyed, service members dead, injured, Strait in their control now. What the fuck did we gain from this? This is the most... If this is how this is resolved, this is the worst since Vietnam. I can't see any other way to put it. This is the worst operation I've ever seen in my lifetime because I was a little infant during Vietnam. I don't know. I know about Afghanistan, Iraq, all that stuff. But this, in my lifetime, is the worst. There's no other way to spin this. This is the worst. In such an important region, such an important waterway, strategic. If it stays course the way it looks like it is so far, this is a disaster. There's no other way to spin it. This is an utter disaster for the United States. It's an embarrassment, too. So, people could spin it. I'm sure Trump supporters will spin it. Some. Democrats are going to have a party with this. They're going to fucking have a fucking party. And if they win the House, it's a disaster. Why I say that? I'm not saying because I'm in the middle. I say that because then it's going to be chaos. Nothing's going to get done for 2 years. At the last 2 years of the presidency, they're going to do a revenge tour, impeachment, hearings, all kinds of shit. Nothing's going to get done. But what did I tell you? That they were doing this. I can't believe it that I actually forecasted and predicted this because they're doing it to delay it perfectly. They're agreeing. 60 days, that takes us to October 5th if it's signed today. Right before the midterms. That means, what's always the number one thing in people's minds when they go to vote? Economy. If it sticks for 60 days, that's a big if. It goes down, the Dow goes up, people are more happy, prices are down, and it doesn't affect the midterms as much economically for the Republican Party. So I said that this was going to happen. I mean, is it a coincidence? But here's the thing I said also with that caveat. Iran can screw it up at any time, throw it off the rails, and then we're back to ground zero, Groundhog Day, all over again. Which I bet you they'll do it just to screw with the president. Maybe by September, if it lasts that long. I've been damn right so far on a lot of it. Yeah, I've been wrong on a few things, thinking that he was actually going to carry out his threats. And this is Tuesday, so I'm not even going to mention about that. I know people are probably going to put it in chat. I'm not doing that because I don't disrespect. But, my God, how ironic that it's on a freaking Tuesday. This is, okay, let's not make excuses, Eugene. Of course this is bigger than Iran because the economy, global economy is affected. Cuba is definitely next. I said that, Skywalker. Cuba is definitely next. That might be done before September. Cuba soon. Cuba's not going to be that long. I agree. It was signed. Oh, okay. I'm missing stuff here. And as soon as the nuke stuff comes up and they say we're keeping the stuff we have and we have a nuke one day or we shut the straits, what are you going to do about it? That's exactly. This is a very stupid decision, in my opinion. Delay, delay, delay? Oh my God. You can't strike them now, so China and Russia are going to be sending them goodies. You can't tell them they can't sell them weapons because how can you? To cease fire. Business as usual. You get, I mean, lifting sanctions, oil sanctions, like unblocking their ports. The blockade has to go down, right? Is the blockade going to stay up? And you know that they know about the leverage of the Strait. If this is true, because again, I got to see the details, that they get to dictate and control the Strait of Hormuz, ka-ching, we just got that one. The next card would be to have a nuclear weapon. And then what do you do? They already got the Strait. And you don't think they're going to be emboldened now? Because they're going to say, look, see, we waited out the United States. We waited them out. We got smashed, but we survived. That was, from the beginning, that was their ultimate goal anyway. They knew what was coming. It's not a shock that they were going to get pummeled. They knew that. They prepared for this. What we didn't do is prepare better for this operation. We are the ones that rushed into it. Iran's been preparing for decades for this scenario. So now, I would not doubt they go, surprise, like a couple of months from now, like if the shit goes sideways, if they have a nuke after this, oh my God. Oh my God. You can bet your ass they're going to try to develop, even if it's a low yield nuke, they're going to. You can't trust them. Oh, but they seem to be trusting them. Just imagine that. We trust Putin. We trust Xi. They're my best friends. They're my buddies. And now I want Iran to be prosperous. He said that. He thinks he could just be happy with Iran. They want you dead, dude. I mean, what is this delusional approach? It's delusional. Who wants to bet against the USA? We're freaking patriots. We're American citizens. Who wants? But because you would never bet against it doesn't mean that they're not going to do the right thing politically. Would you say you wouldn't bet against the USA when Biden was president? Or Obama was president? Ha! I mean, nobody wants to see this happen, right? Do you realize how weak we look right now? Do you? And I'm just saying, up to this point, things can change. Things could change. I'm saying up to this crazy shit that's going to be announced today. It's almost like the United States is saying, oh, we were a big part of the negotiations. No, they weren't. Even though there was discussions behind closed doors with the mediators, not with Iran. But they're going to say that their foot was in the door. They were part of it to claim like they were a part of it. It was Oman and Iran. Obviously, because they're the ones that are going to control it. Iran gets to call the shots, even through Oman. If they don't like who's going through or they see something they don't like, they could step in. That's not free flow of traffic. If they don't like what they see, they can intervene. If they get a hissy fit, they can do something. This is insane. This is insane. At least up to right now. If this happens today, Allegedly, it's going to be announced today at some point. Let's wait. I want to see the agreement. Stop being bullshitting us. Be transparent like you say you are. The most transparent ever. Show us. Not that we have to wait for other sources to release it. Because even with the MOU, who released the MOU first? Was it the United States government? Or was it leaked? The media? Iranian sources? The Iranians put it right out. And I'm saying this is bullshit. This can't be true. It was real. Because they wanted people to see it. Because they don't want the United States to flip it and spin it. So they put it out, and I'm saying this can't be. This cannot be. The 12 point, whatever it was, 14 point, whatever it was. I said this fucking can't be. That we're gonna agree to this? Rebuilding them? 300 billion? 300 billion! Do you remember the MOU? I was like, you people are screaming about what Obama did? We're gonna fucking rebuild the country and we're gonna make the regime strong. What? Go read that MOU again. Are we going back to the MOU? Oh my God. Is frozen assets going to be lifted where Iran gets 12 billion from here? China has, like they say, I think anywhere from 20 to 50 billion frozen. But it's frozen by us. Are we going to lift that? To make Xi happy? As a favor? Not to fuck with Taiwan? I mean, what's going on behind the scenes? This is some scary shit. The bottom line is this. We lost the Strait. Iran has control of it, if this is true. We lost the Strait. It's that simple. This was not an issue before this started. It is now. That's unacceptable. And there was no problems with the movement of shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, international waterway. This is going to be a game changer for the rest of the world when it comes to straits and fees or tolls. Even though they say they're not going to do it for the first 60 days, what happens after 60 days? Iran and Oman are still working out the details after the 60 days when they get final control over the Strait and dictate the terms of the Strait. Because that's Omani territorial waters, Iran territorial waters, so they're saying they control the Strait. Eugene, there won't be a deal. Don't worry about faith. Because Iran's, at the end of the day, never going to agree to anything the United States says to pressure them for a deal when it comes to nuclear. They're not going to agree. Right now, think about it. Who has the momentum right now? The U.S. or Iran? Be honest. Be honest. Don't be political. Be honest. Who has the momentum right now? U.S. base is being withdrawn, evacuated, pummeled, destroyed. Who looks like is retreating and who's pushing? Iran's getting control of the Strait. They're fucking emboldened. And you think they're going to capitulate? They think that their strategy was wait the president out. He will cave in time. The pressure internally, globally, he'll cave. We can wait him out. That was their plan from day one. We discussed this. Oh my God. Right, John? Right, some of the others that have been here from freaking day one? Not people that are just coming in now and getting caught up with what we've been discussing every day almost for 7 months? No? Did we not have a discussion and predict all the bullshit that's going on right now? Yes, we did. And who the hell am I Nobody. But at least I have a common sense approach and a rational. I'm not in any kind of delusion. I'm just looking at it in practical terms, just looking at it objectively. When you look at it objectively, the fucking picture is clear, not clouded by politics. I'm not yelling at you, Eugene. It gets my blood pressure up. I gotta calm down. Actually, I gotta go to the doctor. I'm dead. I gotta leave at 9:30. The doctor's gonna say, "What's going on? We're gonna have to put you in the ER. Your EKG is off the scale." Here I am smoking a cigarette and drinking coffee. I'm dead when I go to the doctor. I'm done. And again, I know anything can happen in the future. I do not think Iran is ever going to agree to a deal. But the point is, we're going to be back to this. What about our troops? Are we going to bring them home? How long have they been out there? How long are we going to keep them there? Where was the Lincoln before it was in the Middle East? Alexa, how long has the Lincoln carrier been out at sea? Oh, that's bad. That's vague.
The USS Abraham Lincoln has been continuously underway for about 208 days since leaving
200
San Diego in late November 2025.
Since leaving San Diego late 2025. What was it? 200 what? Say that again? Can you repeat that? Alexa, how long has it been since the Abraham Lincoln left San Diego?
The USS Abraham Lincoln left San Diego on November 21st, 2025, which was about 257 days ago.
Shit. Where did it go after it left San Diego?
After San Diego, the Lincoln sailed into the Pacific as part of Carrier Strike Group 3, heading toward the Eastern Pacific and the South China Sea. It made a one-day port call at Guam on December 11th, -12, and has been underway ever since.
So December 12th, 2025, ever since. It's been underway ever since. So that's what? Almost 8 months at sea?
Yep, since the December 12th, 2025 stop in Guam, the Lincoln's been nonstop. Roughly 8 months, over 210 days at sea now.
Alexa, stop. So again, let's look at where we're at presently. Let's forget about the past. Well, not really. Should we start with Carter? But let's just put the past behind us, where we are presently, which has been like crazy. We have to see about this agreement if it's announced by the U.S. today. And I want to see the terms of this agreement. We already hear there's stuff coming out. It's 60-day ceasefire. Oh boy, what are they posting now? They're having a party in Iran, the accounts. They're repeating it. That the United States plans to announce it today. They're repeating the same thing. What's he saying? Let's see. There's a Fox News clip. I want to see what it's going to be about, though, first. It's probably all over the news, you would think, right? I don't watch mainstream either, so I wouldn't know. I do sometimes watch Fox here on the computer. Okay, the Strait of Hormuz will be open. Let's just... Wait. This is the president. Let's see. We have to listen.
Well, I had a chance to ask the president about the armed suspect who was just arrested at the Trump National Golf Club, and here is what he said. Watch.
I need to hear this.
There was a threat. There was a man who was arrested, seemed to be heavily armed near the property here on Sunday. It's an ongoing concern, sir. Talk about that for briefly, if we can.
Well, the only thing I get a little solace from is they say only consequential presidents. And I am definitely consequential. I mean, if you look at the economy, if you look at what's happening, Iran, as an example, will never have a nuclear weapon. They already can't, but it's going to be formal. The Strait's going to be open very soon, or they're going to get hit very hard. And
they can't have a nuclear weapon. It's already formal. No, it's not. They haven't even negotiated about the nuclear file yet. There's nothing formal about it. They haven't even sat down to discuss the nuclear yet. What is he talking about? There's no formal agreement.
Then the Strait's going to be open. And we were going to a tremendous attack, the biggest since World War II. And they called me and said, very politely, please, can we talk? Can we talk? They didn't want. And I said, yes, we can talk. Let's get it done. Finally, let's get it done. This should have been done by other presidents for 50 years, you know.
Yeah, let's get it done. But we get to control the Strait. This wasn't done by any other president except for you. You're proud of that? Iran being in control of the Strait of Hormuz? It hasn't been done by any other president. You're right about that.
You keep hearing 47, but that's been for 3 years now. It's been over 50 years. Other presidents or other countries should have been able to do this. And I did something that I had to do, because if they had a nuclear weapon, this whole world would be a different place.
If they back out again, are they done?
Well, if they back out again, they're going to get hit really hard.
Let's see if he sticks to that. Remember what he just said. If they back out, if something happens again, which I'm sure it will, I don't think Iran's ever going to hold to a negotiation and make a final deal with the United States months from now. So we go back. Are we going to leave? Are we staying? Are we going to switch carriers? Are we going to... Of course, I don't think we're going to remove our presence there. That would be foolish. So when Iran screws this up again, you're going to hit them very hard?
You know, they know that. They understand that. I have no choice. They can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. It's not like, gee, let's, think about something else. No.
But do we know what's going on in Pickaxe? Do we really know what's going on in Pickaxe? So is the Iranians going to scramble to make a nuke in this delay period? Remember, before this started, Iran is 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon. Besant went on TV, which he got reprimanded for saying Iran is a week away from a nuclear weapon. What? Wait, what? And we're going to give them 60 days? If it makes it 60 days, which I doubt. Really? What happened to Pickaxe? I thought that was a serious thing. Now, another thing to keep an eye on is Israel.
It should have been done by many presidents over many years, and it wasn't. And I'm doing it. Obama was taken to the cleaners. He thought he could bribe his way out. He gave him billions, tens of billions of...
Tens of billions. He thought he could bribe his way through. What are you going to do? Pay and go? You agreed and signed that MOU, which includes hundreds of billions of dollars to Iran. Forget about tens of billions. Hundreds of billions. If Iran agrees, little increments will be done as they achieve certain points. It's just as good as you giving them, because you're the one who controls the frozen assets when you release them. Yeah, technically you can't say you gave it to them, but the other countries can. What? Wait, what?
Dollars, so stupidly. 1.7 billion in cash.
1.7 billion in cash. You're going to open up now the floodgates for Iran to make money now from oil sales. You know how much they'll make in a fucking week? You're opening up the billions of dollars of floodgate. It's amazing.
Green cash on a Boeing 757, an airplane loaded up with cash. They probably looked at it. They said, you got to be kidding. No, you can't bribe your way out. All you can do is fight your way out. And if they didn't, they wouldn't be talking if we weren't doing what we're doing. We had.
Of course they're talking. They're going to get control of the Strait. They got what they wanted. Of course they're going to talk about it. We'll talk, but we control the Strait. You okay with that? I guess we are. We'll talk. But we're controlling the Strait. Not you. We are. I guess he's agreed to it.
Very, very hard, but the hard hit is yet to come, and hopefully we won't have to use it. I hope we won't have to. We're having very good discussions. They don't like to admit that, but it's a little bit disconcerting. You tell people like you, we're having wonderful discussions, and then some guy will come out of Iran and say, we have not met, we have not. It's just such a lie all day long. You understand?
Well, they haven't met directly. It's mediators. No?
It's just incredible. We didn't talk, they'll say, we didn't talk about nuclear. Well, what do we talk about? We're sitting there twiddling our thumbs, right? So, but it doesn't matter. That's talk. The only thing that matters is action. And they want to make a deal. We'll see what happens. If they don't make a deal, it's going to be too bad.
It's ground zero. It is fucking Groundhog Day again. When the original ceasefire was announced on April, 13th? Wasn't there like a 60-day? What was the ceasefire? It was extended so many times. Like, what? And then we'll hit them. Stone Age, World War II, all this rhetoric. And yeah, Gitmo, and now they still have their little boats. And you don't think they're going to rebuild in this time and regroup in China and Russia and supplies? And then what? We got to wipe all that shit out again? With what we have left? I mean, my God, what is going on? Who the hell? I mean, again, if this was rational thinking, you would think that with the right diplomatic approach, not Witkoff and fucking Kushner, those people are not seasoned for this situation as diplomats to go over details of any agreement with Iran. They'll get schooled. Even he says they're great as negotiators. And you're going to send in Witkoff and Kushner? That's the best we can do? Really? Really? Oh my God. How long is that going to be drawn out? And remember, do you think they trust the president for any deal? He's the one that stopped the JCPOA. Because he didn't like it? So they're like, we don't trust him. He yanked the last one away. If he changes his mind. This is so absurd. But you know who's pushing it. It's J.D. Vance. There's no question. It's definitely the vice president. He's been out there publicly saying it, blah, 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 blah. But let me ask you guys this. Exactly, Josh. I want to see a copy of the agreement. That's what I want to see. I said that yesterday. I said that the day before. I want to see a copy of the agreement. Who do you think will be the first one to put out the agreement? Iran. Do I trust it? No. Then the media, they'll leak it to the media, legacy media. Then they'll put it out. I still don't trust it because the source is coming from Iran. Until the United States makes it official and puts it out, then I'll say, okay, this is something that I could deem as credible. So we have to wait to see how this plays out today. I don't know, Carla. I didn't see anything about Dubai with the Houthis. I know that the Saudis did something near Sana'a again. I got to look into that because I haven't been focused on that situation. I think they're negotiating to de-escalate that between the Houthis and the Saudis because things have to correspond with each other. If the Strait of Hormuz is open, that Yemen Strait has to be open too. No? Or is that separate? How could you have that shut and the other one open? You would think they have to open both, no? Wouldn't that be logical? So I think that's on the way too at the same time. Someone did attack Dubai, but who did isn't sure. Yeah, exactly, Thomas. Like I said, I gotta be calm because I gotta go to the doctor soon, and my blood pressure is probably out of control right now. Um, a man, unconfirmed. This is coming from an Israeli reporter. A man who has been identified as Janine John Teal. Is this a? I don't want to make assumptions, but that sounds transgender type. I don't know. A man who has been identified as Janine John Teal, 38. I gotta bring this closer to me. It's too far on that monitor. 38 was arrested at Trump National Golf Course in Rancho Palos Verdes ahead of President Trump's visit to California today after he was caught monitoring security preparations. Police said the man was found with an illegally modified AR-15, body armor, high-capacity magazines, ammunition, and notebooks that had anti-Trump statements from inside of them. I'm just reading to you what Amir, a reporter from Israel, is putting out there. I am not confirming that. I'm just saying what he put out there just now. Just now. Janine John Teal, 38. And he was found with anti-Trump statements in notebooks, modified AR-15. Alexa, stop. A modified AR-15, body armor, high-capacity magazines, ammunition. Holy shit. Oh, wait till we hear more about this. I should look this up. There it is. Let's see if we could get some background. The DOJ. Here, let's put the DOJ article. Downey man who was arrested with a loaded pistol, I think it's more than that, in his pickup truck, was charged today in a federal criminal complaint. Janine John Teal, whatever the unregistered short-barreled rifle. They're still investigating the motives. Could have been a dangerous situation, of course. His troubling behavior at the president's golf course merely days before the president was expected to arrive raised serious red flags for law enforcement and led to the discovery of an unregistered firearm, a loaded weapon, as well as additional items of concern, like that notebook. Any mention about the notebook? Remember, this is DOJ. He was identified. They saw a suspicious individual at the club. He was seen walking through the golf course wearing an earpiece and took photographs and filmed videos of federal agents. He then left the area and drove away. He returned to the golf course. Staff notified federal agents who were continuing their security assessment. He approached federal governments and stated that he was employed by the State Department and was at the location for security detail. Oh, this guy's psycho. He further admitted to having a loaded firearm in his car. He was wanted in connection with a robbery case in El Segundo. He was detained, and a 16-round magazine containing hollow point ammunition was found in his pants pockets. A loaded 9mm pistol, hollow point ammunition, a pair of binoculars, and a badge that read Security Protection Agent. They searched his residence. That's where they found the illegally modified AR, other firearms, body armor, high-capacity magazines, an earpiece, 2 radio signal devices, and multiple notebooks. There it is. Multiple notebooks containing concerning statements, anti-Trump statements. Oh, there's going to definitely be more on this. And it looks like he planned this, boy. We need to find out more about this dude's background. This is coming from the DOJ. This is not an article. This is DOJ. This is the U.S. Attorney's Office. This is not like a media. This is coming from the DOJ. Yes, he was monitoring. Yes. You saw the Janine thing last night? This is the first time seeing. What's up, Moses? So this is not coming from mainstream media or legacy media or whatever. This is coming from DOJ. I'll tell you, man. You know, we need harsher criminal laws. I don't even know if that's enough with these psychos out here. I mean, if treason is punishable to death, any assassination attempt, they need to raise the stakes, in my opinion. This is getting way fucking out of control. With the threats to the president. This is getting, and this is not even with Iran, unless this, who the hell knows? We got to find out more if he's, I don't want him to speculate because I need more information. Janine, is this person transgender? Which would probably make it a lefty. No? I am not that kind of person that likes to speculate that way. Because then it starts conspiracies and all that. I don't like doing that. But Janine, John? Why Janine? Isn't Janine a female name? No? That's my assumption based on what I just read. You know, I'm just going based on that assumption by reading the name. That's the only reason I bring it up. I don't know. I need more information. But this shit looks shady. Then you got to think about, because I personally think Iran is connected to other attempts. That's just my opinion. However that was done. Because, I mean, people can be offered money. There are a lot of sickos out there. I have to wait just to find out more information about that. But that's scary. Because they, you know, I don't want to even, you know, say anything about it because I don't. You know, you give crazy people ideas out there. Because they're being very careful with the security detail, Secret Service, about events that he does. But in an area like that, a golf course, you would think after the prior incidents, they have to close off that fucking area. I would close it off in the whole perimeter by a mile at minimum, if not more. Nobody's getting near that golf course. Something's got to be done. Unacceptable. Something looks like it may have happened in Yemen. Another incident. I don't know. What's the date? Yeah. Another incident in Yemen. August 5th. It was attacked by uncrewed surface vessel. Uncrewed surface vessel. So is this a suicide drone? Which caused a fire on board. Uncrewed surface vessel. The crew have been rescued by local authorities and are safe and well. The vessel has been reported as sunk. Is this referring to the Indian one? But it says August 5th. But this is Yemen, the Strait, near the Strait. exiting to the Gulf of Aden. So I don't know. Holy shit. What the fuck is this from? This is the first time we are seeing the RV Iranian Khyber-Shekan missile. We can see 4-element CRPAs for receiving signals from navigation satellites. It is relatively jamming resistant. Using GPS enables high accuracy. Also note the heat shielding on the RV. Who's helping them upgrade their equipment? Want to guess? They're making it more highly accurate. Their missiles. That's not good. When the media saw that somebody is a fascist enough times, a mentally deranged, that's the problem. There are really, I'm telling you, there are some really twisted people out there. And remember, a lot of people are undiagnosed because they've never had an issue in the past. It doesn't raise flags. Or maybe there were flags, but they weren't serious enough to really bring up red flags. So you can only imagine what's out there. And I'm not making excuses. That's just the fact. And that's scary. And that's scary in itself. There's a lot of people out there that are unstable. And we just don't know. Could be our neighbor. Could be a coworker. Could be anybody. You don't know what they're doing in their private life. Some of them may sit at, I don't want to say it like, because I spend a lot of time sitting here. They spend all day looking at social media and posts that they enjoy looking at. And they go into it all out. And they become really extremists in their views. It's like they feed on that. It's scary. Just think about that. Somebody spending all day looking for social media that they want to see and read and get all hyped up about. And it fuels them. To the point where, if they're, you know what I'm saying? That's scary shit. Let's see. I don't know. I don't even want to put their propaganda. I'm so tired of their fucking propaganda. But they make, and there's a report in English. They have, Iranian Press TV has an English version to spread their propaganda, which I'm looking at right now. But they're claiming 8 South Korean university students were detained after allegedly trying to enter a U.S. airbase while shouting anti-American slogans. I don't know if that's true. It's probably not, but this is what they're fucking reporting, and they got a video. They
base through its main gate. Also, the Korean Progressive University Student Union said that those detained were protesting the U.S. military's opposition to a planned South Korean semiconductor cluster project. There are about 28,500 U.S.
I don't know. This is what they're saying. I haven't seen that on this again, I don't watch mainstream media, but is that true? Something went down? They tried to run onto a base? South Koreans protesting about something in South Korea? That's what I mean. And these are students. Wait a minute. Are they students here? on student visas? This raises a lot of questions, if true. I'm just saying. Oh, here we go. Do you want to hear what the other side is doing during their meetings, Oman and Iran?
A single middle corridor.
Here, let's
for safe
listen to this.
navigation.
I don't want to put the fucking video.
An informed source has clarified that any potential bilateral agreement between Tehran and Muscat regarding maritime traffic in the Strait of Hormuz will not automatically lead to the immediate reopening of the strategic waterway. Now, speaking to IRIB, the source stressed that negotiations with Oman focus on bilateral maritime arrangements
The IRB is IRGC.
and have nothing to do with the U.S. Now, it was made clear that if Washington continues its violations, the Strait of Hormuz will remain closed, even if an agreement with Muscat is finalized. The informed source says the waterway will be opened if the U.S. changes behavior and rectifies its mistakes. A senior Iranian official had earlier told Press TV that talks with Muscat have entered a new phase, aiming to establish a single middle corridor for safe navigation while safeguarding Iran's sovereignty.
How about that? This is what they're saying. Now, obviously, this is their propaganda Iranian state TV. And the IRGC influenced. IRIB. But this is what they're saying. The United States has nothing to do with what's going on between Iran and Oman in an agreement to open the strait. And they won't open it immediately. Let's see what happens here. But that gives you an insight on what they're saying on this so-called agreement. Even if agreement is made. Did you hear that? Let's see how this plays out. Because now we just heard what the Iranian media is saying. We know what our media is saying. Let's see if it's somewhere in the middle, or if it's our way, our interpretation, or their interpretation. See what I'm saying? I'd like to see what they're saying, because I just want to see when because you know, like they say, somewhere in the middle lies the truth. I want to see, like somebody mentioned in chat, I want to see the actual agreement released, details of the agreement, 60-day ceasefire, blah, 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 blah. Is this going back to the MOU? I want to see the details. I want to see the arrangements. I already know that we've talked about this for days, even though other people were like, what the fuck? No, we called this. All of us called this. We discussed this for days. We were right. Allegedly, until it's official. But all the indicators are the Iran traffic coming in from the north into the Persian Gulf, exiting the Persian Gulf, the Omani route, which is the U.S. route. No more. It's the Omani route. And Oman still has to contact Iran about any ships going through, and they have to approve it. And if they don't like it, they can intercede and intervene Iran. So who's controlling the strait? Who's dictating the terms of the strait? This is allegedly what they've agreed to, and a 60-day ceasefire. So the United States has capitulated control. Not the United States controls it 100%. No. Iran controls and dictates 100% what goes on in the Strait of Hormuz. Let's see. Remember what I told you guys yesterday. Watch out for the spin. Because it's coming. It's already started. Facts matter. Devil's in details. If you were going to, like I always say, you claim to be the most transparent ever, release the agreement. Show the American people, or show the world. Show the American people. Period. No more bullshit. No more gaslighting. No more misleading people. Put out the truth. Then we can reach a conclusion. I'm just going based on all these reports. Forget about their press TV, because that's absolute Iran propaganda that the fucking mainstream media, CNN, and all these other news agencies are going to jump on, because they're being fed this information directly from Iran. Like I said, if the agreement is officially announced by the United States today, as many are indicating that that's going to be the case today, unless something screws this up at the last minute, which would probably be Iran, that they don't like certain things that are going on. Could be us too. Maybe Republicans will put pressure. You can't agree to them having control of that strait. Maybe there's applied pressure within here that are not going to accept this and put pressure on the president. You can't agree to this deal. Anything can happen. Unless it's announced, it's all speculation because it hasn't been officially announced. But if it does happen today, I want to see the agreement details. It's not going to, John, it's Oman and Iran. Well, we've discussed this, and people are like, what are you talking about? No, they've been working on this for weeks, as they've indicated. We knew this, though some people ignored it. We've discussed this. Oh, they're going crazy. And that's all they're mentioning on their propaganda about it. But that other thing with the South Korean students, what the hell is that about? Is that true that they tried to run on a base? I'm going to have to look into that later, because I got to go to the doctor in 40 minutes. I got to stop drinking coffee. I got to slow down because my EKG is going to be off the freaking scale bad. I'm already feeling like I'm wigging from the coffee. That's not going to help the EKG. I'll tell them too. I drank coffee and I was talking about something that kind of got me all amped up this morning. You should have never done that. I could hear the lecture already. Okay, so they're talking about the incident in Yemen. An unidentified military aircraft is flying over Mutana province in southern Iraq. Another to keep an eye on. We may have nothing to do with it, but there might be a clash between the Kurdish factions and Iran, because they are massing on that border. Keep an eye on that as a sidebar thing. That could be something that people are not looking at too. Iran has moved troops right there along the border, especially to the north and to the south. Keep an eye on that. We might be distracted about the Strait of Hormuz, but there's other shit going on too. Okay, so far I'm looking at all their posts. They're repeating everything about Yemen. I'm still trying to see if there's anything else. No, that's nothing. This is going to be nothing. This is going to be nothing. Those are the Israelis reporting about Lebanon. Yemen's armed forces announced targeting another Saudi oil tanker in the Red Sea off the coast of Yanbu with an anti-ship ballistic missiles. That's what we're hearing about the UK MTO. They hit another Saudi vessel. So that shit's not de-escalating. I thought that would be de-escalating because of what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz. Doesn't look like that's the case. Crazy shit. I tell you, it's just insane. Okay, so the president shared this post, but this is old, 7 hours ago. He just posted it. He was on Fox News. I do not know what this clip is about, but this was 7 hours ago.
I need to hear this.
There was a threat. There was a man who was arrested.
Okay, it's the same clip we played earlier. I just have to check. So, good morning, Candace. He always says it includes the nuclear. The nuclear is not even talked about until phase 2 when they sit down to actually discuss the nuclear. The nuclear is going to be on the table for discussions. It's not anything finalized or done or agreed upon, Candace. That is not the case. The whole point of the MOU was to actually negotiate, to sit down during phase 2 for this 60-day ceasefire, which could be extended, to have specific discussions about a final agreement deal with Iran concerning their nuclear. That is not, nothing's been done with that. Nothing. Zero. They haven't even sat down to talk and discuss the specifics on it. And at any time, Iran could say, we don't agree, we're not doing this no more. He could talk all he wants about nuclear. It's done. They agreed not to have a nuclear weapon. That's bullshit. They haven't even sat down to discuss the nuclear. The terms of their nuclear program. Whether it's civilian, their enriched uranium, whatever it is. What's going to happen to the highly enriched? Are we going to go in? Are they going to remove it? Are we going to destroy it? Are they going to send it to Russia? Those terms haven't been discussed. None of it. Zero. This is all to get to the table to discuss and sit down and go over the specifics, arrangement about their nuclear program, which at any time Iran can say, we don't agree to it, bye. So don't be confused by what he says, because that's not the case. Oh, they've already agreed about their nuclear program. No, they haven't. Show me on paper where they've agreed. Show me on paper. Then I'll believe it. Did you sign it? Did you agree to it? Did they agree to it? Did they sign it? No. That's the whole point, is to get to phase 2. For them to sit down and have actual discussions and negotiate specifics about how they're going to deal with their nuclear program. Now, there are things outlined in the MOU to be discussed. But until you sit down with them, with Witkoff and Kushner as your diplomats, which is insane, you need real seasoned people to be there to negotiate with them, which is insane. Then we're talking. When I see it signed and agreed upon by Iran and the United States, then I'll say, oh, we have resolved their nuclear file. Until that point, no. Nothing's been agreed upon. They can't even agree upon opening the Strait. But now, as it seems, because I still haven't seen the details, but all the reports indicate that it's an Oman-Iran arrangement. The U.S. has nothing to do with it, but they're going along with it, where Iran dictates and controls the Strait of Hormuz to get it open. Unless I see otherwise in writing, that's what all the indications are. What is the United States' role in this? What happens to the blockade? Again, until they make the announcement, allegedly the United States is going to make the announcement sometime today. When they make the announcement, I hope they go into the details of the agreement between Iran and Oman. How are they going to spin this out there to the public? when they make such an announcement, if an announcement is made today. Because you can bet Iran is going to be watching, and if they don't like any kind of spin or misleading statements, however it's done, they're going to say, we did not agree to that. We're not opening the Strait. It could be just something simple like that happening today. We didn't agree to that. Just like the Saudis with the nuclear thing, we didn't agree to joining the Abraham Accords. That was not part of this. What, are you going to throw this in game now? That's not what we agreed upon. Now you're throwing this in the game? You think these countries want to be blackmailed into a situation? Oh, you must join the Abraham Accords if we're going to help you with your nuclear civilian use. Wait, what? Who said that? No, we didn't agree to that. Do you know what I mean? Morgan, I honestly believe, okay. Think during the campaign before the election of 2024. And I have to give, in this way, I have to give J.D. Vance credit. He was no more wars. No more wars. He was very staunch on that. So I believe that J.D. Vance wants to see I honestly do believe that he wants to see a diplomatic solution. He wants this to end. Now you can argue, is he the person that's in the president's ear telling him this has to be resolved diplomatically? But again, the president's in a position. It's complex. It's complicated. If he resumes the war, it could be drawn out. If he was to launch a major campaign against Iran, that could last for months. The midterms are coming. If you launch a large-scale war with Iran, oil's done. That strait is not moving at all. Prices are going to go up. If prices of oil goes up, the economy gets affected, prices go up for us, and people are going to bitch and moan and complain, and they're going to vent that out on the midterms. They know this is political as well. That's why they'll capitulate to allow this to happen for 60 days, which could be extended right through the midterms. Think about the strategy there. It's not rocket science. It makes sense. Dollars and cents. Even if they have to agree to let Iran, for now, think they're in control of the Strait. That's something I guess we're willing to do, just to get the Strait opened so oil can flow again. Allegedly, completely, freely, period. And then they're going to remove the mines again, just like in the MOU, 30 days. They're going to remove all the mines in the middle. So we're back to this. And if not, he said just now in the clip, if this doesn't work out, then I'm going to hit them very hard. And we're right back to that again. That could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week. It could happen a month from now. That's how fragile this is. Exactly. It's just a piece of paper. Who enforces it? Are we going to have the IAEA go back in and monitor and set up cameras again like they did with the JCPOA? Who's going to monitor what Iran is doing? Is anybody going to be allowed to go to Pickaxe? Because they were denied access to that one. Who's going to be in control during that part of the agreement, if they ever even get to that? What are the conditions? Are there going to be U.S. monitors in Iran? What's going to be different? Anything? But wait, we had that first. We had that in place. So now we're going to try to get it back in place? Like I always tell people, read the JCPOA. A lot of people criticize it because it was Obama. It's political. Go read the JCPOA. They had excellent monitorization there. Inspectors could go within 24 hours to any location to inspect. What do we have now? Nothing. What are we planning to try to get back? Something? What are the Iranians going to agree to? You think they're going to agree to anything that the JCPOA had with President Trump? You are dreaming. You are in a fantasy world. If you could believe that. So where are we going? Back to where we were? The Strait doesn't look like it's going back to the way it was. And Iran has already said many times, the Strait will never be in its pre-war condition ever again. Meaning, international waterway, free travel, they want to control the Strait. Again, we have to see the details of this agreement between Iran and Oman. But right now, and I have to say speculating because it's not official, ships coming in. Alexa, stop! That's my alarm for the doctor. I thought I'd still be sleeping. I gotta leave soon. Ships are gonna come in the Iran way. They're gonna exit the Gulf the Oman way. But Oman has to contact Iran. Alexa, stop. About any of the ships going out, and Iran has to give final approval for those ships to pass. And if they don't like it, they can intervene. What kind of a fucking arrangement is that? If this is true, we've agreed to that? We've agreed to that? And I guess the catch is, for the first 60 days, no tolls or fees will be charged. What happens after 60 days? Because right now, Iran and Oman are discussing, they're finalizing what happens after. So they're already saying, this isn't going to change. We're not giving it up. We're finalizing a deal how the Strait operates in the future together, sharing fees, tolls, whatever you want to call it. So right there, that's a disaster strategically. Before the war, everything was fine. Well, if you want to call it a war. Before the war, traffic was flowing, international waterway. Now, after, not so fast. Right there, that's a disaster. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how else to say it. If this is true. Good morning, Chris and Bong and Smokey, all up in ya, Marianne, Will, all up in ya. Yeah, boots on the ground is not, that is worst case, because when the casualties, which they would happen, it's inevitable, start coming in, oh my God. You think the country's, like, how many, what do you think the percentages of the people against this war right now? 60%? 70%? No, I don't know about 70. 60%? Maybe more. I don't know. I don't look at polls. I hate polls. But what would you say is a good guesstimate? Like 60%? You know every fucking Democrat is. I'm sure a lot of independents aren't liking it. And how many Republicans are against it? But careful when you answer that, because before it was promised no new wars, no more foreign wars, America first. So I'm sure there's a lot of Republicans that aren't happy about what's going on right now either. So I don't think the sentiment in the country in general is for this campaign. And you're going to put boots on the ground? Our service members? Their families? Because they're pretty much, they're involved in it too. You're going to do that? Especially with the midterms coming up? Numbers start coming back in? Oh my God. That's a political disaster. Remember, a lot of this also has to do with the midterms. You may not think it does, but it does. It may not be for the president, but it sure is about those Republicans that are trying to hold on to the House and the Senate. And they got to face their constituents and debates. And when asked these questions, are you for this war? It's not going to be easy. Oh, good look at the dentist, Chris. I got to go to the doctor in 20 minutes. I got to get ready. Exactly, Smokey. They want to target our troops. They would send every fucking drone, every missile, not every, just to do as much damage to our ground troops as they can to inflict that and use it as, I hate to say it, propaganda against us. That's a disaster. That is a disaster. I totally agree. A lot of polls at the local drinking establishment bond you too much. There are a lot of people that have no idea what's going on. That's true. You're right about that. A lot of people don't even know what the hell's going on because they don't pay attention to it. You're right about that. Payday for you, Chris. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful day. So today, and like I said, anything could happen today. What if an announcement is not made today? It was supposed to happen yesterday or today. Remember, Scott Bessent went on TV yesterday on MSNBC, of all things, because I saw the clip on the Telegram, saying, oh, a deal will be made either today or tomorrow. And as soon as he said that, MSNBC, it's like, I guess, one of their financial channels, the fucking markets reacted. It was almost immediate. He went on these networks so it could be seen and heard, and the markets reacted almost immediately. It's market manipulation all the way. Unless anybody else can come up with a better conclusion than that. It's definitely market manipulation. Thank you, Will. PTO for me today, Amy. Good morning, Amy. Man News. Some news sources are reporting a new security incident in the Red Sea. Yes, Smokey. Saudi tanker was targeted, and the Iranian media is saying it was sunk. I can't confirm that. UK MTO is reporting the incident. It is definitely market manipulation, Kevin, 101. Kevin, not for nothing, on a sidetrack really quick. Nice debut by George Lombard Jr., huh? Could be the next Derek Jeter. Let's not get carried away. Oh, my God. If there is market manipulation, I'm not worried about it. Yes, 401ks is doing great. Definitely. There's no doubt about that. No doubt. Those are the pros. But the market manipulation is a temporary band-aid to the situation. This does not resolve the problem, because this problem can rear its ugly head days, weeks, months from now. Then there's going to be a problem. This is not resolving the issue. It's just getting that Strait open. The markets react positively in so many ways. The Dow, the oil, of course. The economy. It all benefits that. That's why they're doing it. And that's why they're going to agree to the Iranian control of the Strait. Because the bottom line is, they want that shit open. And they want to get this under control. That's why. But it's still a compromise. It's still capitulating to Iran. There's no other way to flip it. But this could be the ramp. and both sides will claim victory, and you just got to accept it. You just have to accept it. I've been saying this for days now. It is what it is. We may not like it, but those are the terms. But the reality is the reality. And the Israelis are like, Trump called off a massive strike on Iran at the last second. Here's the real reason why and what it means for Israel's future. So the Israelis are still thinking in the back of their minds, are we going to have to act eventually unilaterally to deal with Iran? I don't know. Because Israel's like, shit, he did it again. Do we got to do something by ourselves? And if we do, he's not going to back us because he's like the same way. Remember when the whole MOU started and Iran was saying, call off your little lapdog, Bibi, and tell him to stop hitting Beirut. Tell him he's got to withdraw from Lebanon. Tell him he's got to stop hitting blah, 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 blah. And the president gets on the phone. Bibi, are you fucking crazy? You're jeopardizing my fucking negotiations with Iran. So if Israel were to do something right now, you think the president is going to give a shit about Israel when his main concern is this deal negotiation with Iran? He's going to say, you just fucked everything up. You know that? Come on. Come on. So Israel, they're in a position. They either got to decide, act unilaterally, and may not be backed by the United States. You're on your own. That is a very real possibility. Because he's not going to care. Why did you do this? You see I'm negotiating with them, and now you're going to decide to strike them? Are you fucking crazy? Because he said something like that to Bibi, allegedly, that they had a conversation. So, I don't know. Freddie Freeman should be president. Someday my Padres will be the Dodgers. The Dodgers owe so much money in deferred payments. I think it's like over $1 billion. And baseball needs to do something about that. There could be a strike. There could be a walkout at the end of the season. Oh boy. Now I don't want to get into sports. I don't think Iran is going to do it, Bill, without the U.S. giving concessions. Well, the concessions is, Smokey, that Iran gets to control the Strait. That's the concession. That is the concession. Iran gets to control the Strait, but is that enough? Is that enough for Iran to do it? Just the concession that they get to control the Strait. Is that enough of a bite that they'll take to go back into negotiations? Or do they want more? Think of it this way. Iran already is figuring, shit, the president caved on the Strait. What else could he cave on? What if we keep applying this pressure? What about some money? What about some frozen assets? Okay, we agreed to this, but in order for us to open the Strait, we want $12 billion in our frozen assets from Qatar or whatever. Are they going to throw shit in the game? We want you to relieve some sanctions on us. What are they going to throw in the game? Thinking that they can keep pushing and pushing and changing the terms. Is that enough for them to say they control the Strait? To open it up? And if they don't like something, they're going to fire on another ship? that's trying to get through and try to get through without authorization, prior authorization. Because again, Oman has to contact Iran. Any ship going out, Oman must communicate it to Iran, and Iran gives the final go or no go on any ships exiting into the Gulf of Oman. So how's that going to work out? So you know what I'm saying? How long does that last before they fire upon somebody that they don't like going through? But then who would that be? I mean, where their destination is? Is it going to Israel? Like, who would they deem as unacceptable to not be allowed to pass through? It's not like they're going to allow U.S. warships to go in. That's definitely off the table. But, like, who would they say no to based on destination? I don't know. This is it's in a way, this is fascinating how this is going to play out, if it plays out. Oh boy. Allegedly, the other side is saying this. Injuries were reported as a result of an Israeli airstrike that targeted a prayer area near a cemetery in the town of Tibnin. They just posted that. Totally unconfirmed. Let's see. It is easy to predict. That's why when we talk about stuff, it's like, are we saying anything that's not plausible? Not predictable? It's not like we have a crystal ball in front of us. It's just looking at things practically, objectively, and seeing it in front of us. No? If a deal is announced, how long until IRGC breaks it? Exactly. All up in here. How long does it last? I agree, it's going to change nothing. That's been their MO from the beginning. And honestly, I'm going to ask this before I go because I got to go to the doctor. Do you think, again, let's just say the Strait gets open today. Do you think at the end of weeks or months of negotiation that the Iran will ever sign a paper agreeing with a deal with the United States? Does anyone think that's going to happen? I say fuck no. What do you guys think? At the end of the day, 60-day ceasefire, sitting down and negotiating with Iranians and trying to reach a deal, a real deal, signed, both sides. What are the chances? What are the chances of that happening? Meanwhile, delay. Maybe it's true we're trying to buy time to rebuild our stockpile? I say hell no. I don't know, Gitmo. You think Iran's going to let our naval vessels go into the Persian Gulf? I don't think so. Yes, all up in you. Absolutely, that is a possibility. He says they are stretching this out to deplete U.S. munitions per agreement with China and Russia so they can invade Taiwan and Baltics. Just an idea. You don't think Iran, North Korea, Russia, and China are all, we talk about behind the scenes what's going on? Like us with the Arab countries, Israel. You don't think they have some kind of thing going on between themselves too? Really? Back channels behind the scenes? Are you serious? Are we that stupid to believe that? What's up, Diesel? So, no. There's no way a final deal Iran will ever agree to a final deal at the end of the day. There's just no way in hell. Forget about that. The IRGC will never. Even the cardboard mouse is going to be so reluctant to even talk about nuclear, period. Good luck with that. You think they want to be perceived as weak when right now they're emboldened? It doesn't even make sense. And all this talk about we've destroyed their Navy and their Air Force and their missiles, and they knew that was coming. They've been preparing for this for freaking decades. But their whole plan was to wait us out. And it has succeeded up to this point, because if they get control of the fucking Strait today, they have accomplished a big deal. That's a big deal. Iran controlling the Strait wasn't like that a few months ago. That's a big win for them. That's a big win. Yes, win. Does it stay? Does that stay in place? That's another question. But that is a fucking big win if this is announced today and they get to control the Strait, traffic in the Strait, dictate who goes through, who doesn't go through. Oh, that's a big win for Iran. There's no other way to spin it. But we'll play it like we were part of the agreement. We pressured them to force them to do this. Oman and Iran have been doing this for fucking weeks and months. Why do you think they came up with that Persian Gulf bullshit? The Iranians. The Gulf Authority, whatever it was. Why do you think they did that? Is anybody believing the bullshit that we're being shoveled? Does anybody? Seriously? This has been in the works for months with them. Again, if I have to look at this in a practical way, and I hate to say it, if this is what it takes to get the Strait open, because there's probably pressure from the Europeans and everything else. If this is what it takes to get the Strait open and get things under control economically, globally, people will be smiling about their 401ks and gas prices going down, and other countries celebrating they're getting their oil again and their economic pressures being relieved. Things are resuming back to normal conditions before this all started. Do you think a lot of people are going to complain and care that Iran controls the Strait? Like you said, a lot of people don't even know what the hell's going on. They're not even going to be aware of it. Oh shit, I gotta go. You know what I mean? Honestly? For me, it's a disgusting thing that's going on right now, that Iran's going to get control. But to the ordinary person, everyday person, around the world, do you really think they care that Iran gets to control the Strait? All they care about is how it affects them like this. That's the bottom line. It's always about the money. So if this is the way leading forward and making that compromise, people will forget about it real fast. See what I'm saying? That's the reality too. Even though he capitulated to Iran, and that's something he's going to have to swallow, but if this leads to some kind of deal, which I think is not going to happen, but at least for now, oil flows, global economies, our economy, prices go down, Dow goes up, 401ks go up. You think people are going to complain in this country that Iran has control of the Strait? So what? That's going to be the reaction. So what? Anybody, all we care about is how it affects us. I hate to say that, but that's the truth. And people will forget. Those that know, it'll slip the mind in time. Then everything gets back to normal, and then Cuba happens, and everybody's focused on Cuba. And the short-term memory is forget about what's going on in Iran. Things are quiet. They're sitting down. They're talking. Strait is open. Everything's fine. No conflict. There's talks. Then Cuba comes on the radar. Everybody's focused on Cuba. Those that are aware of keeping an eye on things. And Iran is in the shadows, in the background. Nobody's paying attention to it anymore. Do you not see that as a possibility? I sure do. What's going on in here? Despite President Trump's statements, a deal on the Strait of Hormuz is not expected to be signed soon, with several key issues still unresolved. I had a feeling something's going to be thrown into the equation. I don't think Iran's going to settle just for the Strait control. They're going to want more to get, because that's what they wanted before. They wanted assets unfrozen, sanctions lifted. It wasn't just about opening up the Strait. They want more than that. And they're going to push for it. And they're going to throw shit in the game again. Now the question is, how does the president react to that? Because they see what he says. They see his announcements. Oh, it's going to be open on Tuesday. Oh, it'll be open by Wednesday. You think they want to see him go out there and celebrate that as some kind of a prize? You know what? Not so fast. We're not ready to do it yet. We want more. Or we're going to delay this. Just so he looks bad. Egg on face. It's not happening today. It didn't happen yesterday. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to see him out there celebrating it. Does that not make sense? They want to make him look like a fool. Embarrass himself. That's what they want. It makes sense. No? Of course they want concessions. They want more. They want more. They feel like they're in the driver's seat. They want more. They see the reports by our media. Stockpiles are low. This, that, this. They are betting on that. They're going to call his bluff. They're going to push for more. Till they can't really push anymore, but they're going to push as hard as they can to get as much as they can. No? Is anything I'm saying irrational? And remember, this has nothing to do with politics, like some people want to throw that in the game. This is being objective and looking at for what's going on. It's nothing to do with being fucking Democrat, Republican, Independent. Has nothing to do with that. They are poking the bear, but they've poked the bear a few times, Bongwater, and talk is talk. They portray talk as weakness. They only respond to actions. How many times has he threatened? 7 times? 8 times? Begging for a deal? They see the same rhetoric. They see the same thing he does. They deem that as weakness. You can't answer them with that. The hesitancy alone is deemed as weakness. It could be poking the bear. The bear might be sleeping. You want to awaken the bear and see what the bear does when it gets angry? I don't. But again, this is what they're assuming. They're basing it on that. That's their assumptions. That's what they could be banking on. It could be a bad thing to do on their part, but so far it looks like it's fucking working. Until that changes, then I'm not convinced. Until that day comes where we see, and we've been saying, finish the job, finish the job, finish the job, finish the job. Until that happens, then I'll be convinced. Until then, I'm not convinced. Because we've been down this trail how many times? Groundhog Day, how many times? How many? I gotta go. We don't have the capacity to take out Pickaxe Mountain, or it would have been done by now. I agree. We're gonna nuke it? What's that gonna do? Because there is talk. People saying, just nuke it. Yemen strike on Saudi tanker, yes? Yes, we spoke about that earlier. Anyway, you guys, let's see what happens today. If anything, like, who put that in chat just now that they might be backing off? Will? What? No. Iran announced a Strait of Hormuz agreement with Oman is hereby postponed over U.S. interference and Trump's threats saying Iran will not conclude any agreement under the shadow of threats. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm not surprised, though, because they keep... This is what I always say, too. Can they stop opening their mouths? Whether it's the president, anyone in the administration, just shut up. Get things done behind closed doors. Stop doing your fucking diplomacy through social media. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, and it's Vahidi. Oh, it's Vahidi. Of course it's Vahidi. This is the guy in charge. This is the fucking guy in charge. How many times are we going to say it? It's Vahidi. The name I always mess up. Commander-in-Chief of the IGC, Vahidi. As long as the United States and Israel possess nuclear weapons, we will continue working on them for our national security. If they disarm, we will disarm. Is that delusional? This is the first time Iranian official has directly admitted to developing a nuclear bomb. Oh my God. Holy fuck. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what that source is, but oh my God. See, they are secretly doing shit behind the scenes, and we might be aware of this. Maybe that's what the hesitancy is about. Because we know. God only knows. Total speculation on my part. God only knows. And they behind the scenes, they could be threatening Israel. We'll launch a nuke at Israel. God only knows. I'm 100% speculating. But God only knows what's really going on behind the fucking scenes. This is scary stuff. So now they just embarrassed the president, if this is true, that there's not going to be no deal because they're not agreeing to any deal that the president was promising to announce yesterday or today. So I told you they're going to publicly humiliate him and embarrass him because they probably want more because they've said it before. They want some money, frozen assets, and they want sanctions relief before they even sit down. We're back to this again. I hope that's not true. Now we see what the president decides. Iran has backed down again. We're not going to agree with you. We're postponing it. Now what are you going to do? I've got to chill out before I go to the doctor. Yeah, that's an Israeli news channel, but that's Israel. People will say, that's Israel doing what Israel does. Throwing shit in the game to show about the nuclear threat. You know how people will flip that. That's Israel doing what Israel does. Putting that narrative out there that they're going to develop a nuclear weapon. They're trying us to get back involved. You know that's going to happen. And I'll read Smokey's last comment. If they say it's open, don't take their word because they are evil people who lie and can't be trusted. They're fucking terrorists. We can't trust them on anything. They're playing us and they're making us look like fools. And humiliation. This is the fucking United States. This is not acceptable. Could you imagine if Biden did this or Obama did this or anybody else? The Republicans would be losing their heads. Oh my God. And it's crickets. Come on, let's be real about it. Enough. I'm done. I gotta go to the doctor and I gotta leave now. I'm already gonna be late. Anyway, love to all of you. I'm having palpitations. This is fucking ridiculous. Chris, Smokey, all up in here. John, Marianne, Thomas, Diesel, Bongwater. Let's see who else. I'm just gonna scroll quick. Who did I miss? Oh my God, Will, Smokey, I may be repeating. Did I say John? Thomas was there, I think, earlier. Nappy, what's up, Nappy? You're in New York City? Really? I'll be back later. Let's talk about that. I'm not going to go meet you, but... but, you know, we could talk about the New York City thing that you're doing. Who else? Morgan. Kevin. Anybody else? Because I got to go. I can't be scrolling all morning. Amy. I hate. Oh, Camilla in South Florida. I might be taking a trip to Florida soon. I'll let you guys know. I have to be careful with everything else that's going on. I can't put out too much information about movements. Anyway, love to all of you. Be well, be blessed, be safe. God bless our troops and their families, our president, our country, your country, wherever you are, the citizens, wherever you are, your country, all those that seek peace, the good, love. You know what I mean? We definitely good needs to beat evil. We need to conquer evil. No matter what evil it is, we need to win that battle. We have to win the battle. And it's really serious all over the world. I mean, I pray. I'm actually going to buy some more candles because I only think I got one more left. I got to go reload on my candles. I always like to light the candles. I've always lit candles. Mom is the one that got me started. She's always lighting candles, so I have to continue that too. It's a thing. And the fire victims. Yes, oh my God. Oh my God, yes. The fire victims. Pray for them. Pray for everyone that needs prayer, including ourselves. Pray for ourselves and our families and our loved ones and our neighbors and our communities. Whatever. All of it. Pray. Prayer is good. Even if you don't pray, positive energy. Positive. Put out the positive. Keep out the negative. Push the positive away. Send positive thoughts if you're a non-religious person. It's all good as long as it's positive. Anyway, I gotta go like freaking now. Love to all of you. Be well, be blessed, be safe. See you all later. If anything happens, Kevin and everybody else, you know how to reach me. Let me know. Keep an eye if you hear any announcements or information. Please let me know. So when I come back in a little while, I might come back on. Who knows? But then again, I might do other things. Anyway, love to all of you. I gotta go. Have a great day.